Welcome! My name is Debbie and this is Pouring My Art Out for the Lord. And I have for you here another design team project for Scrimping Mommy. So today I am making this large tag. It's a 4x8 tag and I'm using Scrimping Mommy's Secret Garden digitals. Beautiful collection of digitals, beautiful papers and images, and I just used a couple of them here. But so this is the front of the tag. This is a little window card that is in the kit, and this butterfly comes with it. So I just kind of glued the butterfly in the center there. I'll show you how to make it in a second here. And then here's the back of the piece and just another part of the beautiful papers. So in the front here, this is a wax seal that comes with the ephemera kit. And if you open that up, there's a flap, and then there's a postcard, and you can open that up, and then this is your main journal card. So this postcard and this hang tag ticket thing are from the Journaling Basics ephemera, and then the rest is from Secret Garden. And if you take this tag out of here, then you can see the little girl in the Secret Garden. So I thought that was kind of neat. So just a flip and a flop, and this closes with Velcro, and then here's the back of the tag. So I'm going to show you how to make that. So let's just clear this away. So the first thing I need is a piece of cardstock, or this is just some heavy, it's actually one-sided glossy paper that I had, and it measures 4x8, I believe. Yeah, 4x8 inches. And you've probably seen this before, but if you take a gift card and you cut a corner off of it, then you can make tag corners. You flip it over and you can get exactly the same tag on the other side. And you can also use them for scraping paint on for mixed media, which is why mine is all covered like that, or gesso. So that's how I made my tag corners. So then the next thing I want to do is glue my front cover on, or the front of my tag on. I picked a different piece of paper. It's very similar, but it's a slightly different, just to have a little variety. So I'm going to glue this onto the front here. So to do that, I'm just going to use my Scotch glue stick. And the paper is not quite long enough to reach the whole bottom of the tag. I'm in Canada, so I have to adjust the A4. So one of the easiest ways I do it is just by printing it, changing the image to 8x10, which is what I did for this one. And then it all fits on the paper nicely. You can also, most printers allow you to do like 80% and 85%, 90%, whatever, different things like that. So play around with your paper if that's your situation. So I just put a little bit of wet glue around the edges, and I'm just going to line this up so that it just covers the tag here. So I think that's about right there. Okay. I often use my brayer just to make sure everything is glued down really well, especially when I use glue stick. And then I'll just trim off the edges here. This is a beautiful kit that Amanda did. She's made quite a few projects with the Secret Garden kit as well. So there's lots of inspiration for this kit if you're interested. And then what I want to do is just put a little bit of purple. This paper comes with the kit as well. And just put a little bit of purple here where it doesn't meet. So I'm just going to cut probably an inch would be lots here. There's my bottom piece, and I'll just I guess I'll put a bit of glue stick on the purple piece here. And then I'll just put a little bit of the liquid glue around the edges. I don't know, I always feel like the glue stick is not good for long term. I always want to add a little bit of the wet glue, but you may have other experience that works better. So I'll just press that one on and trim off the excess here. So there's our front done. Well, done at this point. I'll just put this aside for a minute. And then I want to probably work on my window envelope here. So the first thing I'm going to do is to score on the score lines here. So I'm just going to line up the line in between the two pieces. Doesn't matter where, just line it up somewhere and score it. Same with this bottom flap and same with this side flap here. So we just score on all the lines, 1, 2, 3 lines here. And then you can just fold on those lines. And then I'm not sure, there's different ways that you can cut this out. I'm just going to show you how I do it. So the first thing I do is you can just pinch the center. You're going to cut this out anyway, so it doesn't matter if it's folded. And then I just cut to each corner. So all the way to each corner. Try not to go past the corner, just to the corner. And then what I do is just trim a little ways away so we don't have that whole bulk in here. This is a rounded edge, so we're going to do that one a little bit differently in a minute. But I'll just trim these off here. And this gives you a really neat edge, plus it's reinforced a little bit as well. And then I'll get my scoring board back. Actually, I'm not going to use my scoring board for that. I think I'm just going to use a ruler. I think that'll be easier. So I'm just going to line up where the end of that, the white meets the pattern paper. Maybe a little bit of ways. And then just give it a score with this. And I've got just a magazine at the back on the bottom there, so it gives a little bit of padding. And then it just folds over neatly on that surface, and it gives you a really nice fold. So I'll just do that with the other ones here. That one. And this one. And then you got really neat edges here. Did I score this one? I don't know. It's not folding, so maybe I didn't score it well enough. I'm not sure. Let's try it again. There we go. So then you can just kind of reinforce that with your bone folder a little bit. And then because this one is curved, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to snip little sections here so that they fold over a little neater. And this one you can't really score because it's not going to be a straight edge. So you just have to kind of bend them up, and they should bend up pretty much where you cut them. And if it's not perfect, don't worry about it. Once we ink it and stuff, you're not going to even notice anyways. It's a little bit finicky to do this, but it's really, really neat effect afterwards. So take the time to do these special things once in a while. Sometimes I stick with the basics, and then it's fun to do a little bit extra sometimes. So then I'm just going to take my liquid glue and I'm going to glue all these little flaps down. There's one. Two. And then this one I'll just glue all the individual flaps down. Just, you don't need a ton of glue, just a little bit to secure them down. And I'll just do that until the glue sticks a little bit. And then I'm just going to grab my ink. Just give it a little bit of an ink in the center around there. And that just really finishes it off. All right, so then what we want to do is we want to fold this together like this. Actually, before we do that, we need to put our picture in. So here's my picture. I already cut it out. Amanda's got a couple places where this picture is. I just took it off the piece of, it's like a invoice or something, a bill. So I just cut it out of there. So I just want to line this up how I want this to look from the front. So you want all the edges in here though. So just about there looks good to me. And then just carefully flip it over so that it's in the same place. And then give it a bit of glue on all four sides of the back. And then, oh, I moved it. I was holding on to this, but not the other pocket part. That's okay. I can get it anyways. Okay, and then just carefully fold the back over. And then you've got it glued to the back, and you have your pocket, and when you put your tag in, then you're going to hide the picture. But if you put it in the, if you glued it in the front, then your picture wouldn't be secret. So then you got a little secret spot there. So then we want to glue this pocket together, and this pocket is probably made to glue this side and then glue it together, but we're going to do it a little bit different. So let's just glue this bottom flap here. And that can be pressed down. And then we're just going to glue right inside this edge here. So we're not going to glue the flap at all. Just right inside this edge so that when we close this up, now we have a pocket. And then I'm just going to take a couple of minutes to ink around this. All right, then on our tag, this is going to go like this. And then we are going to have, I'll just maybe prepare this one first, but we're going to glue this onto the back like that. And then it's going to flip out like that. So I took the postcard that was in the Journaling Basics ephemera kit as well. And I backed it onto a piece of coffee dyed cardstock, but I left about 1/2 inch at the top. And I'll show you what I'll do with that in 1 second. I'm just going to take my script stamp. Which way is up? This way is up. And just give it a little bit like an address kind of thing. It's not really in the right spot, but it just gives it a little hint of being a postcard. And then I'm just going to score where this postcard ends and where that flap of cardstock starts. And that can get bent back like that. And then I'm just going to take a minute and ink around this one. Well, I did actually ink. I inked around it except this, except where it's folded. So just take a second. All right. Then on my other one, I have this on this side and this on this side. Kind of staggered. I like to have them a little bit staggered so that it's kind of interesting. I think I printed this one, I printed them both 8 by 10, but I think I did this one borderless, so it makes it a little bit bigger because that one is bigger than this one. I don't know, I still haven't quite figured out all my printing things. It baffles me sometimes. Okay, so actually I've got them this way on the other one, so maybe I'll keep it in that same way. So then I'll just glue these pieces on the back. This one side. You could really do this with anything, you know, you can take another one of Amanda's kits and build these as well. You can make your own window envelope. It's not that hard to make, so you can do that part by scratch. Okay, and then this should fit inside here nicely, which it does, to hide our little girl there. And then on this one, I just put, on the back, I just put a little label, and these labels came from, Amanda did a little printable just a couple months ago when she was doing Junk Journal July. So that's where these labels came from. So I'm just going to put a little number on here just for a bit of interest. And then I'm going to glue that right there. There we go. Then I want to cut out my wax circle. So this was just in the kit and I backed it on some coffee dyed cardstock again. So I'm just going to trim that off. I just printed these on a little heavier weight copy paper, so I want it a little bit stiffer for the closure. This is really easy to cut out. There. Just give it a little bit of an ink if you want. All right. And then on the other one, I just have it kind of overlapping here, and then the other part is there. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on here. Or maybe quite a bit of glue. I want this to be pretty secure here because it's our closure. I'll just press that on for a second. And then I want a hole at the top here where I can put my ribbon. And because this is kind of a little bit bigger tag and a little fancier, I'm going to actually measure where the center of that is. And I'm going to punch a big hole with my crocodile. And I'm going to put an eyelet in there in a minute, but I'm not going to do it quite yet. Okay, and then I think I'll put on the back, and then we'll sew around the edges if you're going to sew. So I'm going to grab my glue stick again. Glue all the way around. So this is going to seal our flaps inside the two layers here. And then I want to line this up at the top again. I'll do it at the top and this edge. And flip this back in and trim around. Make sure you don't trim off your edges of your folder mechanism here. A little bit down here. There. And then I just want a little strip of purple on the bottom here as well. So I'll do another inch. That's what I had before. And I think now I am ready to sew. So I'm just gonna sew around the edges and I'll be right back. All right, I had forgotten to put the lace on here before I sewed, so I just glued the top edge of that all the way around, and then to sew it, I opened this up and then I just sewed around all the edges. So not with it closed, but with it open. So around all the edges, close it up. I also stamped just that little round stamp and this destination here. And just a couple of finishing touches and we'll be done. So I'm just going to set this eyelet. So this is one of those two-piece eyelets. So I just put on two sides and chomp it with the crocodile. That looks good. Going to glue on my butterfly right there. And when I glue on the butterfly, I glue on just the center, but I also do a little bit on the wings because I don't want it to rip off where it's really thin on the body there. So I'll just do that. So it'll still look like it has a little bit of movement, but it's pretty secure on there. And then I have this, it's a wire edged ribbon, so I'll just feed that through. And this one to hold it in place. I don't want to knot it because it's really thick ribbon, so I'm just going to use a bulb pin. I have just a dangle on there, so I'm just going to go through the two edges there, the two parts of the ribbon. And there's our bulb pin dangle like that. And then I just need my little Velcro piece, and I think that's it. So I just have these Velcro pieces that are clear on one side. I always still put a little bit of glue onto the, probably don't need to, but so I just put it on the overhang of where the wax seal is overhanging the card there, like this. So it's just on this part. And then you take one of these clear guys. I really like these Velcro dots. I've had other ones, but these ones are so thin. I really like them. Then I put a dot of glue there. You probably don't need the glue, but... And then I want that to stick on the postcard, so I'll just put it there. And I'll just leave it a minute before I try to open that. But there is our project. So hopefully you enjoyed making that. And if you want to follow me and my journey with the Scrimping Mummy, subscribe to my channel because I'm going to make a lot more projects with her, hopefully. So thanks for watching and blessings. We'll see you in the next video.